going to help or not. And it's like, just why? Just why? Why do we got to be so complicated and such a pain in the arse?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's and that's another thing is having good family support, having good people around you in general,
Yeah, and
who are willing to be there.
if you don't have that family support, if you don't have that network, do reach out. There are groups for just about everything under the sun. You know, the first people that I talked to, I have a friend who lives in Chicago, and when I was first given a solid diagnosis, I called him because he had said 2 years previous to this, he had said, it sounds like lupus. And I'm like, but they tested me for lupus like 3 years ago, and they never said I had it, so I guess it's not. Well, it turns out it is lupus, and they did know 5 years ago, but that's a whole other story. And he immediately said, let me put you in contact with his girlfriend, one of the women that he dates,
Uh huh.
because she is part of a lupus foundation. And like within a week, she had mailed me out a bunch of information. She had told me how to get in contact with my local lupus chapter, the support, where to go to read, because lupus is one of those diseases where it's not like diabetes, where
Yeah.
there's like this correlation. If you eat sugar, your blood sugar is going to go up and you're going to have problems. It's not. It manifests so differently in every single person that it's hard to know.
Yep.
And just the access to being able to read about these are the things it can do, these are the things that it has done. It's like it's a relief. It's a complete relief when you reading this weird symptom that's actually part of this disease, and it's known. You're not
Yeah.
the only one. You're not alone.
And
you
also,
know.
it teaches you what other symptoms you might have and what might be best to keep an eye out for. Um,
Yes.
and so, again, it's like, there's nothing wrong with networking and having that to go fall back on. And that's why, again, like I chat with you and Dee so much because, yes, we don't have the exact same problem, but we all three of us know what it's like to go through it.
Hmm.
And to be in a situation where people don't believe you and where people aren't helping or something, or you've let it go for too long. And sometimes you might notice a symptom I'm having that I didn't correlate with what's going on, or, it's something to think about. So,
Right.
yes.
Well, and often in situations like this, what happens is because it is part of our daily lives, we dismiss things.
Yeah, that too.
And if somebody else points out, hey, you seem to be, and you're like, huh, well, I guess I have been. I just didn't think about
Yeah.
it, you know?
Uh huh.
Interestingly enough, you and I had talked at the very beginning of this when I was first diagnosed about I needed to go to a milder soap. And so I had gone to I replaced all my hand soap with baby wash.
Yeah.
And I can't stand the scent of plain baby wash.
Yeah.
I don't know why this didn't occur to me, but when I was talking to Hunter's girl, um, she was like, well, have you tried any of the ones that they use for soothing? Like there's like a vanilla one and there's a lavender one and I went,
Uh huh.
huh, never even occurred to me
Uh
to,
huh.
to go over and see in the baby department what
Yep.
was available that was scented. I
Uh
just,
huh.
yeah, felt
Well,
like an
yeah, it would
idiot.
be. It would be. I know we all feel like that at times. Been there, done that. How many times have I heard me say, "Idiot"? Why didn't I think of that? I mean, it's because we're so busy processing so much else that we don't think of the simplest things. Like you hear us say all the time, "Keep it simple, stupid."
Yes. Very much on the KISS system over here. Keep it simple, stupid. Yep.
Yes, we have to. Otherwise, it's like, huh? Yeah, it's like, oh yeah. Oh my god, it's just, I know it sucks. It really sucks right now what all of us are going through.
It does. It does. And it does not help that while we're going through it, there's this real sense of isolation. So I don't know about you, but for like the last year, I haven't, almost a year now, I haven't really been able to um, go out and do things the way I used to. I mean, I
Yeah.
still occasionally get to town, but this week I haven't made it to town not once by myself. I have to wait. And so
Yep.
I feel kind of isolated, kind of by myself because, I,
Yes.
I I can't do things for myself. And it's like this is not fun.
No,
This
it's
is
not.
not.
I literally, again, with the vehicle situation, that unless it's an SUV, I can't get in and out of it comfortably or easily without causing more pain. So my happy butt is limited on when and where I can go do things.
Yeah.
And again, I can't physically walk through a grocery store anymore. There's no way. And so I can't even do grocery shopping, which is the simplest thing. And if I had a vehicle here, I could go grocery shopping and I could go do it while Danny's at work. And it's like I miss being able to do it. I miss
Yes.
being able to go out and do what I need or want. And I'm
You know,
just
and
so fed up with it. I feel trapped.
yes. And and that's something else. Our hours don't always match up with the rest of the world. I may not start feeling good until 8 o'clock at night. And, who am I going to ask at 8 o'clock tonight to come get me and take me to the store?
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm feeling great at 7 in the morning. Who am I going to
But
call
by
that?
1 in the afternoon, I can't do it no more.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. That's, and again, you try to keep a routine, but good luck because, you just don't know.
No.
Like I had to reschedule an appointment with my asthma doctor because I had an IBS flare up. There was no way I was going to make it to that appointment 40 miles away and go from there. I mean, it's just not going to happen. It's like, I get it, and it's like my life has completely been turned upside down by all of this, and I
Yeah.
can't stand it. I used to be able to work 12-hour shifts, no problem. Go home, help with housework, go grocery shopping, then come home, go to bed. I can't do it no more. Miss working. It's why I volunteer on Discord to help so many people. I started taking up Spanish. I started streaming games. I can't sit there and twiddle my thumbs. It doesn't work like that.
No. No. It's one of those things. People who are not going through it don't understand what it really means to go
Yeah.
from being an independent individual, doing whatever you want. I've flown all over. I've flown all over. Period.
Hmm.
And now I struggle to get in town to buy a gallon of milk.
Hmm.
That's hard.
Yeah, it is. It is insanely hard to try and function in a way you used to when you can't no more.
Yeah. And the problem is people expect you to.
Yeah. Oh, you were fine 2 years ago, or you were fine last month. And what's your point?
Exactly.
And that's one thing that really got me mad about my mom is because like she has gone through autoimmune disorder. She knows what it's like to go through the good days and bad days. But then she would just get really abusive with me because I couldn't keep going when she wanted me to. And again, this is also a woman who couldn't physically do something she didn't want to do, but when she wanted to go to the mall or she wanted to go to the movies or something, oh, then all of a sudden, she just needed a little bit of help. She had the energy to go do that, but didn't have the energy to clean up after herself or do certain things when she was in overall good health at the time. She wasn't having an actual flare up. And so it would get on my nerves that she would treat me like crap while I was in the middle of still trying to figure out what the hell's going on with me. And she would just get so mad because I couldn't get up and do the dishes because she got sick of seeing dishes on the counter, and Danny and the kids were at work or school at the time. So why am I not getting up and doing household chores? Well, because I physically can't. And then she would get abusive and start threatening to have my kids taken away. It's like those dishes can sit a few more hours till they get home. It's not the end of the world. And so, it's again, especially coming from someone who's going through it too and has been through it. You'd think she'd have a little bit more empathy, and nope, she just, so it sucks. But I like I said, I've never really had a support group. Growing up, I didn't have a support group. I mean, actually, you and Dee and a couple other people are about the only ones that I can ever say were an actual support group to me. It's like, holy crap, this is what it's like to have support? Amazing. So, I do appreciate you guys.
It is amazing because I won't say that I didn't have support. I didn't have the kind of support I needed.
Yeah.
Even still, and understand, my mom is in her mid-80s. My parents they're not spring chicks. And
yeah.
I was raised in a house. I was raised going, these are not optional things.
Yep.
And they're all good lessons, but even still, I can be having a flare-up. My mom will say, how are you doing? I don't feel good. Well, you need to get up and go ahead and do this. And I'm thinking,
yeah,
I can't get out of bed. The first time I told my mom I can't get out of bed, she was like, what do you mean you can't get out of bed? I can't get up. Yes, you can.
No, I can't. Yes. And that's like, again, what we hear from Danny and his brother. It's like, oh, you just need to get up and walk more. Motherfucker, if I could get up and walk more, I would. It's like, again, I really, if I had the ability to do so, you think I'm sitting in bed for the fun of it? You think I enjoy just sitting here, wishing I could get out and so I know it's done right, and not you guys when you changed out the rotors and all that stuff and did the brake job, and then I had calipers shooting through the tires and bending the rims and damn near killing us on the freeway when we came to a stop. I think you were there when that happened a few months ago. Yeah, okay. Doing 80 on the freeway and a caliper's bouncing around. I would have rather have done the big brake job myself at that point. So, yeah, okay, let me just continue laying in bed out of laziness, even though I've always been an active person. I've always been outside walking around, doing outdoor work. Yeah, okay, that makes perfect sense. I can't even go sit in a movie theater. I want to go see that new Dune movie in theater. I know I can't physically do it. There's no way. It's a waste of money to drive 30 miles to the nearest theater, spend all the money for the popcorn and the tickets and all that, just to possibly have to leave early because I can't handle the pain. No. So, again, it's like the frustration of people and the nerve of them to basically say you're faking. Oh my God, I want to choke some people out. If I physically could, I probably would.
Yeah, it's just like, really? Really?
Again, it's just, like I said, if I could find a roommate who doesn't mind that I'm stuck in bed more often than not, and may randomly need sheet changes and stuff on my bed, and help in the shower. So, basically, I gotta find a husband, and that shit ain't happening. So, because no one's gonna want to start in the middle of this chaos. I'm stuck with what I got. And it's frustrating beyond all belief. It really is. So, yeah. One of those days, one of those weeks, one of those lives, I don't know. At this point, what do we call it? BS?
Yeah, pretty much. It's like, yeah. This is certainly, I don't remember asking for this, but this is where I am.
Oh, I've never. And that's why, again, like, you'll hear me say, it must have been something in a past life. Like, I had to have been some of the worst corrupt leaders of the world in past lives, all being punished at once. Because it's the only thing I can think of.
That's not exploration. It's a rescue mission.
It's one of those things where you're like, well, this isn't going to plan, because I'm telling you, this is not what I have planned for my life.
No, it's not even close. It's just, man, that meme that I put, sum up my life in one sentence. Well, that didn't go as effing planned.
Pretty much.
I know you and I have both shared that meme so many times.
Yeah.
Because it's so relatable. It really, truly is.
Yes. Yeah, and there is, I mean, everybody's going to have some of that, but for those of us who have looked at our lives and went, what the hell? What happened?
Know. And I was not that kid out there causing problems with my family. I wasn't disrespectful beyond belief. I wasn't out, getting arrested, destroying property at school, anything like that. Nope. I was the good kid who did what I was supposed to do. And what the heck happened? Yep. Something went wrong, evidently. If anyone has the answers to life, I'd really like to get them. Because, this is insanity. I'm not okay with it. I want a break. I know we had discussed it last night about medically induced comas for recreational reasons.
Yes.
It's like, can I please just, couple days, maybe a week. It would save me so much headache.
I kind of liked our other idea where we body shared.
Yeah.
We'll find a good body, and this week you can have the digestive tract, and I'll take the back. Next week you can have the good back, and I'll take the good digestive tract for a while.
Yeah. That would be nice, but, medical technology hasn't gotten there yet, has it?
No, it's not. Everybody talks about Elon Musk and his chip, right?
Yeah.
I don't care about his chip. I want him to build a robotic body I can use for a while, and leave my physical body at home. We'll just upload my consciousness via that chip. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Can we try that
Well, like we were
while?
talking about the book that I was telling you, Altered Carbon, the book series. I'm telling you, thinking we might need to invest. It's not bad technology. Something happens to my body. Okay, well, I'll just go get a new one. Let me rent out this new body. No big deal, right?
Right. Well, people like you and me, we may have to timeshare, but hey.
Hey, that's a good idea. Time sharing it.
Yep.
Oh, I'm telling you. It's so wild, the crap that we have gone through. And why does it just not make sense anymore?
Because the world doesn't make sense anymore. There was a time when people had to deal with things like this, there was support, and other people were like, okay, well, obviously something isn't working over there. We'll pitch in and we'll help. We don't get that anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. You're right. And I'm still in that old mindset. I will gladly help someone out if they're in need. If I can physically do it, I will do it.
Yeah,
Like when my ex-brother-in-law's, because he's my ex-husband's stepbrother, but when his mother passed away, she was sick. This is when she still was alive. He needed someone to go over and just sit with her, make sure she was okay, keep an eye on her until the next person could come in. And so, I could get around. There was a wheelchair and a walker there, so I could at least get around if she needed food or a drink. I could change the channel for her on the TV, just so she didn't, she wasn't alone. And they didn't want her ever being alone during this time. And I get it. So there was a couple of times I went over and sat with her, and hell, my daughter did. My daughter stayed with her for the better part of 8 to 12 hours a couple of times because no one else was available. And so, it teaches that empathy and care for others. So I'm glad my daughter got that experience. But
Yeah.
it's, this world is just not what it used to be. And it bothers me. The lack of community, the lack of care, the lack of empathy for others, it seems like. It's like if I'm not related to you and you don't directly impact my life, I don't give a shit about you.
Well, unfortunately, we're seeing it even in those who are related. It's like, yeah, I got time for this. And it's like, no, that's not the way this works.
Yeah, it's kind of like what my family on my mother's side, and well, some of my dad's side too. They were the ones. Well, I'll help you if you do this for me or that for me. It's like, okay, that's a whole nother story in itself. But for what I do is I have no expectations of anything in return if I help you out.
Exactly.
And I know you are the same way, and that's something I can truly appreciate. Because most people aren't that way anymore. And it's like, what the fudge?
We must get back to Uncle Deckard right away.
Sorry. I'm kind of venting today, as you can tell.
That's okay.
Promised to restore their power, but instead turned them into misshapen creatures and sent them to war against us.
Oh,
We may die.
I don't know what's going on this week. It's like, maybe I need to call it a break from everything, but if I do that, I'll be bored out of my frickin' mind. It sucks. Why do we have to be sick?
Yeah. Okay. But there is that, sometimes we do need a break, and unfortunately, it's we don't do that for ourselves. We don't take that break that we need.
Yeah.
And that's but a lot of people think if you're online, you should be available. Well, that doesn't always work. There are people who think that because if you do take a break from being online, oh well, you must have been rejuvenated. Well, no, because I still have things going on in my life that are hard to deal with. It's
Yeah.
my life doesn't stop because I turn off my computer. Yeah, and that in itself is a whole thing. The world expects you to be available 24 hours a day now, and it's like that's not even fair.
It's not. And it's one of the things that I refuse to succumb to. Don't ever assume I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that or anything about me. I will let you know if I am available or not. Just, again, it's like, I love people, but there are times I want to choke them out too. I know I say it all the time. It's like,
I love people, but there are times when I don't want people. I want quiet. I want the mental break, I guess, is what I'm talking about. Because there are times when you just need to stop thinking, and that's not exactly what I'm trying to say.
I get it, but I do know what you mean. I don't know how to word it either, but I get it. It's like, you know what? I don't need any extra drama. I don't need any extra conversation today. I'm online to play a game or to distract myself from what I'm going through, not be at everyone's beckoning whim.
Yeah, and that's it. And in that situation, I am very, very particular about who I talk with.
Uh-huh.
If I'm talking to somebody, it's because they relax me or I enjoy the conversation or
Yeah.
whatever. It's not related to whatever drama is going on in the world. I don't want to talk about the drama that's going on in the world.
Yes.
Honestly.
And that's why, like, I know I've told you before, I have select people I talk to when I'm having bad days, and when I'm having good days, then I'll talk to everybody else. In the meantime, just, yeah, let me be. That's all there is to it. It's like, I just need a break from people. And I still want to have fun online, and I still care about you people, but I just need a break from people.
Yeah.
And luckily right now is not one of those times, so just in case anyone who's listening thinks I'm talking about them, no, it's not about you or anyone in particular. I'm just saying there are times when I like to recede, I become a recluse, and I'm okay with that. I just wish other people were.
Yeah, I want to make a sticker that says, yes, I know I'm posting on social media. No, I don't want to talk to you. It's nothing personal. I still love you, and I will get back to you in 5 to 7 days.
I know. It's like, it's like a do not disturb sign. I need a do not disturb sign.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I just, again, and it's nothing personal. It's not that you've done anything that I don't want to talk to you. It's just, I don't want to talk to people in general. And there's only a select few people who understand why, or maybe understand that I'm in a mood and they can handle me venting. There are some people that when you start venting, they don't handle it very well because they don't know what to say or do. Because there's absolutely nothing they can say or do to make it better. So
no, you can't. The best thing you can do in a situation like that is sit and listen.
And empathize. Yeah, like I've been through it. I know what you're going through.
Or even not even that. And maybe you haven't been through it. Maybe it's just, I get it. I get you just want to bitch about the world in general. Great, you do that.
Yeah, it's like I haven't been through it, but I can understand why you're feeling the way you are. Yeah, it's really nice to have people like that, and some people just aren't capable of it, and it's nothing against them. That doesn't mean they're a bad person. It's like I am not capable of doing advanced trigonometry. Are you going to tell me I'm a bad person for it? No.
Oh, you're horrible. Because you don't know how to do advanced. All right. Okay. Yeah.
And this is again where it's like some people just aren't capable of understanding certain things. They're just not capable. And it's again, I will never be upset with you for it. I won't. And but sometimes you're just not the right person I need to talk to at the moment. And it's really, I wish people didn't take it so personal sometimes.
Yes. And that's a big thing. And this particular saying is something that I have said for years because it was something that somebody did for me, and that is, if today I cannot laugh with you in the light, I will sit with you quietly in the darkness. Because sometimes that is the best thing you can do.
It is. And again, I wish more people were able to do that. But again, they're maybe not in a point in their life where they've learned that or grasped it. And that's another thing that other people don't take into consideration either. Is we all develop and mature and learn lessons at our own pace. We are not meant to be all at the same time. And again, I've met many of people. I've known what they were going through, but it was a lesson they had to learn on their own.
Yep.
And so me telling them how to get through it would have been pointless and just caused aggravation. So this is where I will be like, okay, here's the circumstance. I'm listening to you. I've been through it. Here's what I've been through. But I'm not going to give you advice. I'm going to just let you vent and come to it on your own, because it's pointless to try and tell you what to do and how to do it. So that's kind of just the way I work with people like that. And again, too many people get upset when you don't take their advice. But it's like, but your advice may not work for me at this time. It's nothing personal. It's just your advice isn't going to work for me. And they get so upset.
Yeah, I try not to get upset with people who don't take my advice, because just because it worked for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. It may be maybe something that I was comfortable with that you're not ready for.
Yep.
You know, there are people that I look at their situation, and my first thought is, you need to walk away from this because this is going to get bad.
Yeah.
But if they're not ready to do that, then the only thing I can do is be there and help them pick up the pieces.
Yep. And that's what I do too. One of the famous lines I had for a family member was, if you don't mind your own business, if you don't, what was it? If you don't keep your nose to yourself, it's bound to get broken. And they didn't learn until it was the hard way. And that was one of my first lessons in, not everybody is going to listen to you. Not everybody's going to take your advice. Sometimes people got to learn the hard way. But I told him this for years. And then he got his nose broken. And he learned pretty quickly from that. And so, yeah, it's... I think that's why I've been so good at being able to step back and just be there for people. Is because, you know, at some point, yeah, it's just something they have to learn. And you know, you can see it from an outside perspective, but they're never going to see it from an inside perspective. That's another thing too.
Yes, and that's one that so many people don't understand, is just because it's obvious to you, when you're inside that situation, it's not always obvious that this is going to be the best solution.
Uh-huh. And then also the people who feel guilty, no matter what. I'm one of them. I feel guilty all the time for not being able to help people more, not being able to do this, not being able to do that. And it's something I've been working on, is letting go of some of that guilt trip I'm used to putting myself through.
Yeah, I'm very, very bad about that too. And I have to say that I am one of those people, because I don't spend a lot of time talking to others. Often, if somebody's giving me advice that I'm not taking, it's no fault of theirs. There's probably something about the situation that they don't know.
Yeah.
Like right now, I've got people. What you need to do is you just need to go ahead and make an appointment with a rheumatologist, any rheumatologist.
No.
And it's like, well, it's not just about, you know, oh well, that would be a bad thing anyway. But it's about, I don't think you understand. Right now, I'm making choices between putting food on my table and keeping my husband in medicine. There's nothing left. I literally cannot afford to go to a doctor. I cannot afford it. And they're like, oh, everybody can afford it. No, really,
they can't.
You know? Oh, but you have insurance. Yes, but insurance only pays so much. I have to pay the rest of it. And right now, with what we make, my husband's not working the hours that he used to because of his health issues, and his medicine is expensive.
And since he's the breadwinner, he's the priority.
Yep. Either I pay the mortgage or I go to a doctor. Guess which one I'm going to do?
Yep. My happy butt is paying the mortgage, because it's hard to get to a doctor when you're homeless. You kind of got to have an address to give them. Yeah, I know. I completely get where you're coming from, but most people, again, they're used to I have Medicaid or, Medicare with a subsidy. It doesn't work that way for everyone. Not everyone qualifies for that. So, just get it through your heads. Not everybody's in your position. It's like they can't even imagine putting themselves in someone else's shoes. And it's like, I don't know. I've never been able to be that way. And I've always been able to understand, or at least ask enough questions to where I could understand. And I don't know. It's weird how people just assume that everyone lives the life they live.
Yeah. The other night you were talking to Oak, and after that conversation, he was like, "I want to send her one of those nebulizers." I'm like, "Talk to her." And he's like, "Okay, I will do that." Well, he hasn't had time, but he really does. He wants to send one because he loves his, and he knows that it would be something very useful for you. Okay, so talk to her.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised.
I know, and I'm going to automatically, because even though I know the price, I'm not going to instantly go to the thing I will say to everyone is only if you can afford it.
Yes, and he wouldn't offer, and that is something he would not have. He wouldn't have even said it if he didn't know that we could afford it.
Yeah.
And yes, we're not. I mean, we're not financially. We're making decisions, but we're making good decisions. And there are things that we have been able to, and there's a world of difference between a one-time
and a constant
and
way.
What that person, right. And if when I do know something about what doctor's bills cost, that's not even scratch on what it would cost me for the testing and going to a doctor and And what people also don't think about is it's not just a copay for the visit, it's a copay on procedures, it's a copay on medicine, it's a copay on every aspect of the damn appointment. Right, especially when you're going to a specialist, there's going to be blood work, there's going to be testing, there's going to be medicine, there's going to be, this is not just copay on one thing. It's a whole...
Well, and that's where I can tell you, when I was doing blood draws in Michigan, okay, the insurance company is going to pay you $2 for that blood draw. Sorry, $2 to $8 is what you're getting. That's it. And it costs more for the frickin' tubes than what the insurance company is paying you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, again, where people are wondering, why does it cost $60 for a Band-Aid? Well, yeah, that's overpriced. But you got to remember, you're paying the person their hourly wage to work there. You're paying for the supplies. You're paying for the... in my case, I had to drive to the person's home to do it. They did not come to us. So you're paying for gas, car insurance, all of that. And you're also taking a risk of the driver getting into an accident or someone hitting them. Not that the driver's at fault. So that is a pretty big, compensation that needs to be covered. And we're only getting $2 to $8 for it. But we never charged copays and stuff like that of people. But we just bit the cost and suffered. But it's like, people don't understand really what it comes to. I mean, yeah, we do maybe 20 blood draws in a day, the whole practice. But you're not one person going out and doing 20 blood draws. You've got 3 people going out and doing them. Because, we're driving, again, to the patient's home. It's like, the insurance is still not changing how much they pay us. They don't care that we're doing all that. That's not their problem. That's our problem. we got to figure it out. So again, a lot of, like I said, I get both sides of this entire conversation so well. It's unfair to people all around.
Yes, all the way around.
And again, now that's Medicare's payment for a blood draw. Blue Cross might give you 20. Private insurance might give you a little more, but that's why you guys get stuck with copays. Is because your insurance really isn't paying your doctor jack squat for any of it. You do an x-ray, yeah, it's going to cost $120 to perform that x-ray, but if your insurance is only going to cover $40 of it, and again, we're not allowed to argue with Medicaid and Medicare of how much they get to pay us. No, you get what they give you and that's it. Don't you dare question it. Otherwise, they're just going to give you hell to the point you quit. It really sucks. That's why I keep saying, people who sit there and say, oh, just go and find any doctor. No, you could get a crap doctor who does exactly jack squat with any of it. They'll have your test results sitting on their desk for like a week before they even bother to look at it or do anything about it. And then they'll just put it in the computer and no one calls you. And then you're like, huh? Wait, you've known I've had this high cholesterol that could cause me to have a heart attack for like 6 months? Really? And yeah, that's why it's not just a go find a doctor, any doctor. And what do you mean it costs you money? Like, seriously, just, yeah.
Yeah, and there is a whole subset of people who, there are some who get it, but there's a whole subset of people who don't understand that there isn't money in the bank. You really can't afford to go. They don't understand not being able to do these things.
Yeah, right? Because their insurance covers everything, so they can do what they want. And it doesn't work that way. It does not. And even still with patients that had Medicare, there were patients we had that had Medicare where it's an 80-20 split. Yeah, the insurance covers 80% of it, but you're still stuck with 20. But they made too much money in their work. So to them, it's like, yeah, I get it. I got to pay an arm and a leg, and I'm on a fixed income. My income does not fluctuate with anything. Once in a while, I might get a cost of living increase. But, that's what, twice a year they do that?
Once a year, I believe.
Oh, it's now once a year? Yeah. But thanks to Trump, it's a permanent increase, not just here's an extra $24.
Yep. Yeah, and like I said, you're right. People just simply don't get what that 20% can mean. Right. I'm not much on giving great personal information. My last surgery, this is just one surgery. My portion of it came to $184,000.
Shit. And you've got to pay on it. You've got to make payments.
I've got decent insurance, but my last was $184,000. That's more than I paid. That is more than twice what I paid for my house.
Yeah.
It's like, right. So, like, I can afford to no, I can't. I can't afford it.
Yeah.
Can't afford it.
No, you can't. And it's not fair. And for people to sit there and act like it's so simple, it's not. And again, I've had to have procedures altered or changed because my insurance didn't cover it after all. Even me, to go get dental work, I'd have to pay $100 out of pocket because my insurance, even though it's Medicaid, doesn't cover me going and getting sedated to have dental work, even though I have a long outstanding history of having a severe anxiety and panic attacks when I go to the dentist because, my body's stupid and all. But so I have that irrational response to dentist work. So I get it. It's like I would have to pay out of pocket for that, and I can't afford that.
Right.
It's $100, but I cannot afford it. And then you get people like, oh, it's not that hard to save money. All you got to do is save. Excuse
You
you?
have to have something left to save.
Yeah. It's like, I kind of need money after my bills to put aside. Oh, just put aside $5.
If I had
Yeah,
$5,
I would. Yes.
yeah,
It's like,
and I'm saying that right now, and there are people going, yes, but just a few minutes ago you were talking about buying this or something. Yes, I am. You know why? Because I know exactly what it is to be so freaking broke that thing that you not really want that you need. Because
yeah,
let's be clear here. What I was talking about buying, what my husband wants to buy for her, is a portable nebulizer. So in the very rare instances that she can go out, she can take her breathing treatment with her. Okay? We know how hard it is to come up with the extra money all at one time to buy that. Right?
yep,
That's not an easy thing when you can't save. We know that we're going to have a little bit of extra money. You know why? Because my husband has put into 14-hour weeks, 14-hour days this week. We know we're going to have it all
yeah,
at one time.
yes.
So yes, he wants to do this.
And I get it. And there are times when I will do that for people. I had bought the wrong fertilizer spikes for my garden. Well, guess what? My dad happened to need them. I sent them to him. It didn't put me out of any. Well, I mean, technically, it cost me money, but why let it go to waste when I can send it to someone who needs it or something like that? I will gladly do something like that. Or if I'm always looking for deals. So if I find
Yes.
something one of you guys could use, and let's say I can't afford to buy it for you guys, I'll send you the deal. I'll point you in the right direction.
Yes.
Hey, look what I found. Take a peek at this. Will it help you? I will do something like that
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I know it'll benefit you guys in the end. So, I may not be able to buy it, but I can point you in the right direction to find one. And
Yeah.
and again, I appreciate him going to offer it. So it's just again, I also worry about other people, and like I say, if you are sure you can afford it. Right now, I could not afford to buy one. It would take me a good couple months. And again, at the generosity of my ex-husband, who also helps take care of things and lets me live here rent-free, because that's the situation I'm in.
And I understand that.
I know
And
you
here's the
guys do.
thing. There are times when it is more important to us as people to say, hey, you know what? I can fulfill this for somebody else.
Yep.
I can, you know, it, I don't. Yes. Oh, yeah. For anybody who is listening, the price of the object we're talking about is $50. It's not a huge amount of money. It is not an insignificant amount of money.
Yeah.
But that $50, sending something to my friend that I know will help her when she goes. Summer is coming, y'all. Summer is coming, and it's going to be bloody well hot. El
And
Nino's coming
yes.
this year, and they're telling me it's going to be a scorcher. It is more satisfying to my husband and I to know that when she does get to go out, she will be able to breathe comfortably. Why? Because she's our friend.
Well, and
That
also
means
it will
more to me.
benefit me because I live in a tornado area, and I could lose power, and I can't use a nebulizer without electricity.
Amen.
So, it'll also benefit me on that aspect because it is really hard to run a nebulizer from a portable power bank.
It is. It is. You know, but yeah, and I think that a lot of this, and this is something that unless you have been dead ass broke, you'll never understand. You
Uh-huh.
don't give because you have so much extra. You give because you know exactly what it is. Pay. Yeah,
Yes.
to go without. So, you know, when you see and this is something that we have done, and I know you have too. When you see somebody, and you oh, I can fulfill that whether I've got something at home because honestly, you know that we have one that has not been opened. We could send you that one. Instead, we'll probably just have one shipped from Amazon. Uh, but that's not a big deal because I have to make an Amazon order. There are things that I can't get locally that I have to
Yep.
buy. Mm, You
Yep.
know, so
And
it's
I know
just, I
my
mean, it's just that.
insurance will not cover a portable nebulizer in the event I lose power. It's
Hmm.
not a necessity, especially if you have an inhaler in the home. But sometimes inhalers do not pull you out of an asthma attack.
That's true. That's true.
Got news for people. If you don't live with asthma, you don't know what it's like to take that inhaler and it's still not working and you're still struggling to breathe. And you're like, oh my God, time to pull out the nebulizer.
Yep.
And again, it's like, that's why I have such a grudge against insurance companies. I'll admit I have a grudge against them, and it's well deserved.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. I don't know about my insurance company. They're a pain in the ass. But the people that take care of like his oxygen, Dasco, those people are amazing.
I'm
So,
glad.
uh, like when he came home on oxygen, he came home from the hospital with a tank. When we got here, there was a message on our phone. We're talking like 7 o'clock at night. They're like, you know, call us when you get home. We're going to bring you 4 more tanks,
Yeah.
and they did. At 9 o'clock at night, they brought us 4 more tanks. When his portable concentrator, the one that plugs into the wall, went absolutely wonky on Thanksgiving, mind you. Thanksgiving. This alarm starts going off at like 5 in the morning. Scared the crap out of me. His concentrator died. That's his oxygen concentrator. So we got
He
him a
needs
tank. We
that.
got him set up with a tank. Yeah, oxygen he needed it. So I called them and I was like, I am so sorry. I know it's Thanksgiving, but and she's like, well, can you turn it on for me? I turned it on and started screaming. She's like, oh, we'll be there in about an hour with another one, and they were.
And that's awesome.
That is.
I know growing up when I had to have oxygen tanks, croup tents, and a hospital bed in the house, we had a really good company when I was growing up called Sheldon Medical Supply up in Michigan. And they were really good at delivering on time. We didn't have a lot of problems. The biggest problem we had was getting the insurance to understand just how sick I was and why it was medically necessary.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot of good places out there and good
There,
people.
there are there are a lot of amazing places, and they do work. They will work very very hard to make sure that your insurance doesn't give you free. His nebulizer, the one for his meds. We started getting a bill. I think it was like in February. It's like $5 a month, but it said it was a new rental. And I called Dasco and I'm like, we have one that we got last year in August when he got sick. She's like, it's the same one. I'm like, but it says it's